currencies in other countries. They're all being devalued as well. They're in a race. The only thing is gold and silver or property, but that's being devalued. Said Merck chairman and chief investment officer of Merck Investments of Portland, Maine. But again, I just added the point about get into other currencies. I guess that's a little safer. Merck spoke the day after the Fed said it would embark on a program to buy at least $600 billion to $1 trillion in treasuries in an effort to pump up the economy by increasing liquidity. They went on to say, I think it's a very wrong policy. Okay, continuing here. U.S. dollar printing is huge risk, says China top bank advisor. Unbridled printing of dollars is the biggest risk to the global economy, an advisor to the Chinese central bank said in comments published last night, a day after the Federal Reserve unveiled a new round of monetary easing. As long as the world exercises no restraint in issuing global currency such as the dollar, and this is not easy, then the occurrence of another crisis is inevitable, as quite a few wise Westerners lament, he said. And they went into talking about how dangerous this is. Here's Kurt Nemo's report on Infowars.com. Dollar begins crash in response to QE2 as gold scores new high. And he basically boils down all these reports that I just covered. An excellent one-stop shop for the info to send out to people. Dollar begins crash in response to QE2 as gold scores new high. Here's the good news. Ron Paul vows renewed Fed audit push next year. And what did Ron Paul say last time he was on? As it becomes evident that the private Federal Reserve generated this crisis, people are going to know who to blame, and it's key to have Ron Paul, Rand Paul, and others in Congress, and Senator DeMint's also speaking about this, to be able to point out who is guilty so that the guilty parties get in trouble for this and the policies can be changed instead of giving them more power. So Ron Paul vows renewed Fed audit push next year. This is out of Reuters here. Republican Representative Ron Paul on Thursday said he will push to examine the Federal Reserve's monetary policy decisions if he takes control of the congressional subcommittee that oversees the central bank as expected in January. That's right. He's set to be the chairman of the banking committee unless they engage in some manipulation, but he's set in seniority to go there. I think he should be Speaker of the House. He has similar seniority to John Boehner and is a million times better. So we'll talk about that with Bob Chapman coming up. And again, I already mentioned bankruptcy of U.S. is mathematical certainty, says former CEO of nation's 10th largest bank. Now, guys, I want to give you a heads up. You guys in the video clips have the little 15-second clip of Bernanke in Congress last year being questioned. And he says, he's asked by the chairman of the committee, will you engage in monetizing debt or quantitative easing? And he says, no, I won't. Do we have that video clip queued up? But here is Reuters. Geithner vows U.S. will not devalue dollar. This was from October 19th, or only 16 days ago. Geithner vows U.S. will not devalue dollar. There's the Reuters report. So just 16 days ago, they were running around lying about this. And here's the economic collapse article that's up on InfoWars that has the short video clip, if you guys are looking for it. Caught in a lie, Bernanke promised Congress the Federal Reserve would not monetize the debt, but now that is exactly what is happening. And let's play that short clip from C-SPAN. Here it is.
Will the Federal Reserve monetize this debt?
The Federal Reserve will not monetize the.
Okay, and the computer cut out a little bit short on that, so let's relaunch that and play it again. You heard him. The Federal Reserve will not monetize debt, and I just read to you, Geithner vows U.S. will not devalue dollar. Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner vowed on Monday that the United States would not devalue the dollar for export advantage, saying no country could weaken its currency to gain economic health. It's not going to happen in this country, Geithner told Silicon Valley business leaders, of devaluing the dollar. I mean, these guys just lie as a default position. This is a $600 billion to $1 trillion devaluation. Many analysts say it's going to be at least $2.5 trillion, as Bob Chapman said a few months ago. Now mainstream news says it's going to be over $2 trillion if you really look at it. This is very serious news right now. I wanted to go to Ted Anderson ahead of Bob Chapman coming on. to give us his breakdown on this. But, Ted, how amazing is this that for years they've been already devaluing the dollar with debt monetization. Now they're massively accelerating that. Every economist out there, all the major governments are saying this is going to kill the dollar and hurt other currencies. And their answer is, no, it's not happening. Just like they tell us unemployment is 9.6 when it's been above 22% for years. Ted Anderson.
Yeah, well, what we have is a compounding problem, Alex. As we go into debt in order to stimulate the economy, we have to pay the interest on that debt, which is compounded on top of the debt and interest that we already have to pay from previous problems. Our economy comes into existence because of the fact that we have to go into debt just to get the currency. We've got a compounding problem that's working against us. It's about 100 years old now. It's ballooning and it's going to pop. And it's just like CNBC said, the dollar's at risk of crashing now. I mean, come on. I mean, CNBC is the most liberal, talk radio station out there, and they're saying that the dollar is going to crash. I mean, it doesn't bode well for the American people. I mean, what's really disturbing about this whole thing, Alex, is the people that have worked their lives, the retirees, and have a little bit of savings to live on, and they're supposed to now live on this stuff, and they're just going to be thrown out in the cold because everything that they've worked for is going to vanish. It's going to poof. It's going to go away. It's a problem. People think, I was just talking to somebody yesterday. He says, well, don't you think gold is going to come back down to $900 an ounce and we'll be able to buy it again? And the answer is absolutely not, because the currency's falling and this isn't going to change. They're not going to be able to fix this problem. We are heading on into a crash, and either we let the crash come faster or we let it come slower, but it's accelerating, and no matter how hard you try to prolong and put it off, it's coming. You cannot avoid it because we have way too much debt. We do not have enough productivity to cover the expense of that debt.
And putting it off, every economist we talk to says it'll only make the crash worse. It's like a heroin addict. The further they go down that road, or an alcoholic or anything else, it's only going to get worse as it intensifies. And you've got the former head of the 10th largest U.S. bank saying it's a mathematical certainty. Well, that's what we've always said, because it is a mathematical certainty. But things will be a lot better if we basically arrest these banking heads that have engaged in the derivatives counterfeiting scam, if we write off all that debt and have Congress take control of the currency again. We've got the engine of industry. We could get this economy back.
Global meltdowns, massive unemployment, endless wars, a new currency crisis, financially and morally bankrupt. A great and terrible storm is approaching. So what's the best way to get ready, to get prepared for hard times ahead? Introducing Off the Grid News, a weekly newsletter for independent patriots who want practical advice on how to survive and prosper in an increasingly dangerous world. It's the best way to get a black belt in emergency preparedness, survival skills, and off-the-grid living. Off the Grid News is fiercely independent, all about self-reliance, and packed with helpful information on survival gardening, food preparation, alternative energy, herbal medicines, privacy and security, as well as God, gold, and guns, with absolutely no apologies. And the best part, this $100 a year service is now free of charge for our listeners. That's right, free for our listeners who sign up at offthegridnews.com. That's offthegridnews.com. You can sign up free at offthegridnews.com. offthegridnews.com.
You may be arrested and/or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on Earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cameras, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at prisonplanet.tv.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 5 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping. An $87 value, yours free. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
All right, going back to Ted Anderson. Here are the headlines. Bankruptcy of the U.S. is a mathematical certainty, but we're designed to be bankrupt right into the hands of the globalist. Here's another one. Brazil ready to retaliate on U.S. for move and currency war. Bank holiday rumors swirl amidst currency crisis. Fed bond move spurs backlash from Asia to Europe. Oil above 87 on weak dollar. U.S. dollar printing is huge risk. One of the top economists at the Communist Chinese Bank says, Reuters. CNBC, dollar at risk of crashing, triggering inflation. I mean, this is what's happening. Everything we broke down, everything we covered here, everything we warned people about, and I've got countless emails and phone calls and articles written about us over the years that we're fearmongers because we said we shouldn't let the central banks create tens of trillions of dollars for themselves, use it when the money had value, and then leave us holding the bag. We've got to pay all this back in tax money, and they're taxing us by devaluing our savings and our purchasing power. They're destroying our dollar, all we had left economically, because we've been deindustrialized. I mean, I cannot express in words how treasonous and horrible this is. This is economic warfare by design. Ted Anderson, where is gold and silver today? And give folks your great gold and silver offers. I hope people take advantage of this and don't wait because you said last night you were going to have to go up on some of these things. What have you gone up on? What do you still have at the earlier price? Do I have Ted? Because I noticed that the bumper music cut out earlier, and I figured...
You should be able to hear me, though, Alex. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, Ted, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right, okay. Somebody had a pot down, I bet. We're sitting here with $13.99.20 and $26.95 for silver. I mean, that's almost $27 an ounce. One of the things I did have to raise, but I kept it only to $2, is the video package with the 3 silver dollars. That's now currently at $89 rather than $87, which is just a smoking hot deal. You just can't. I mean, Alex, they should be passing these videos out. People need to understand what's going on in this economy. Those videos explain it right to the point. It's just, you know, people rather watch video than read a book on it, that's for sure. And for those of you who are procrastinating, Monday we're looking at gold possibly going from 24 to 20, or silver looking at from 24 to $25 an ounce. Well, now silver is almost $27 an ounce. It is presently only 5 cents from that. So you can just do the math here. Silver is just going through the roof. But I'm holding down the walking Liberty half at 11.77. I will raise those prices on Monday. Your procrastination, if you don't move, is going to cost you more money. You might as well get involved with the gold and silver now. Franks currently right now are at $304. You get a full year subscription to the International Forecaster, which that's Bob Chapman's newsletter, who will be up here just shortly. I would listen to him. Anybody would be out of their mind not to get that.
And Ted, just to add to this, to explain this new special, you've got 3 silver dollars that are trading everywhere for about $29 to $30 a piece. 3 of